there's this group of, I guess you could call them aliens. They're not really like aliens that you've seen probably before, like or what you're thinking about. In 1980, there was a movie released called Private Eyes. That's Private Eyes. In it, they talk about something called the Wookalar, and you don't see it till the very end of the movie. That's when you see this Wookalar, and uh, this is the only time that I can think of throughout history or anything that they have done any reference to these beings. Um, yeah, except the people, these they have a lot. Their skin tone is a lot lighter and more of a blue. Like it's a more of a blue. Their skin is blue. Um, um, but they basically had control over our governments and police forces. They could utilize police forces to do things for them. Like if they needed something done, they could get it done utilizing the police force. And then this one guy, he he was, he broke some laws, so they threw him into jail. And then once he was in jail, they had access to him. Being in jail, like you won't be aware of it, but there's um, when you're released from jail years down the road, you might have these strange memories of things happening while you were there that you don't remember. And that's just, they know how the human mind works and they know how to make you forget stuff. Um, so while this guy's in jail, they put him into the MK Ultra program. Um, and while he was in this program, that's when he was introduced to there was this one blue kid that he went up against. And they did that, there's that that's when that happened. They do that battle. um, and if you're familiar with the MK program, this individual, he started to take over, and he wouldn't, basically, they couldn't control him. And they quickly realized that this person, like this guy, he was very powerful, and they couldn't control him. So they um, they knew they had to do something to try to uh, twist and bend and kind of break him. And so they introduced him to this Galgor. They call themselves Galgarians. We call ourselves humans. That's what they refer to. This dude was Galgor the Galgarian. Um, and they couldn't control him, so they figured they'd send him home with Galgor. So he took him off, flew up. He had a spaceship, and he flew off to his planet and took him there. Um, and Galgor is basically the king. So he had a throne, and he had a big room where he'd sit and feel important, wear all his stuff, and everyone come, all his, everyone be sitting there adoring the king. And what they did is he chained this guy to the floor. Um, Around he put a uh, metal collar around his neck and chained him to the foot of where Galgor's chair was, and so everyone could come and see the king and his little pet. And he left a bowl of water on the floor there that he kick and spill, and they get the floor all wet. And the guy's sleeping there too, so he's sleeping on a wet floor, like he's making the guy's life hell. Um, but at night, see, the thing was, okay, at night they knew who this guy was, and they knew they could go at night and point at the stars and say your home is there. And this guy had access to technology that it's a very advanced, like it's very advanced. It would blow your mind. But they knew if they pointed at the star of the sky and they said that's where your home is, he could get there. So every at night they would point in the completely wrong direction. That's when the police brought him to there, or they said this guy, he can find his way home. So at night, point in the sky. That's the completely opposite direction of where Earth is. So at night they would say, this is it, and the guy is a traveler. He would go, and he would just go, and it was like, I was not sure where you're pointing. Like I just kept going and going and going, and they did this over and over and over. It was a repeated effort of like, there's your home, that way, and he would go and go. Like he could travel, like he could go and star to star, universe. He just travel and go as far as he could, and then come back, and it was breaking his mind, because it was, if you look out at the sky, it just goes on forever, and he was just searching. It's like, where are you pointing again? And no, it's right here, right there. Oh, okay. But it was a repeated effort to break this guy. And so, like, back to the chair, where you're chained up. And this one day he wakes up, and it's like, this is just a bad dream. This isn't real. This is not real. You're not real. And this Galgor starts to vanish, starts to disappear. And the people notice, and Galgor himself notices that he's vanishing, and he snaps himself out of it, and and kind of takes control of the situation, and all the people saw, and then eventually they had a way to communicate without Galgor being there. Like, he was obviously go do things, and then the people would come and say, hey, that thing you did there when you're making him disappear, like, do that again. And so he's like, well, okay, whatever. And so the next day he's like, I don't believe you. You're not real. And then all of his other, all of his people, every single one, they all just did the same thing. You're not real. And he vanished. So he was off the throne. And so the lady takes the throne. It must have been his wife, but she despised him just like everyone else. Like, they're very crude individuals, and so she takes the throne. And the thing is, nothing changed. Like, the rule, everything, like, it was the same thing, just another devil on the throne, just another Iron Fist ruling their planet. So eventually this one lady came up to him, and she was kind of, she got to befriend him, and told him, like, I'll show you where your home is. I'll point you in the direction, but you have to do something for us. You have to help me. Like, you can't leave this. If you take off, you can't leave us like this. So one night, the place was abandoned. The queen, the ruler, the queen is probably sleeping or something, and this lady came in and said, there's your home. And they had done this to him so many times that he's like, I can't do this again. Like, you better be pointing me in the right direction. And she promised him, and he went, and when he realized that she was pointing in the right direction, he said, okay, there you go. And he left her the throne. Somehow he had discovered that he would be able to strip the throne from one and give it to another. He would be able to, he discovered a way to do it. But there was no sense doing it. Like, why keep handing the throne around when it's just another monkey on the bench? You got to prove yourself. And this one proved herself, and there you go. he came back to Earth. Um, so he went back to jail and did his time in jail. They probably, you know, to do the torture and all that stuff to kind of, because they couldn't control him. And now he's back home, and he's a threat. Like, he's a threat to your system of where, we can't control him, but um, he's taken over the MK Ultra program. Like, if you're aware, if you understand the program, this guy took it over. And the thing is, if you find out about that, once you're in, once you're the head of the pyramid in that kind of whole mess that is, you can't be knocked down, and they couldn't, so they released him from jail, and so you got this guy. He's powerful, and you can't kill him. That's the thing. You can't kill him. They've tried. Like, he was walking to Tim Hortons, just minding the business, walking to Tim Hortons, get a coffee, and this van comes along, and two doors, slams beside him. Car door, the van door flies open. They grab him. He flies in there. They put a mask on his head and push him into the corner of the back of the van. Guy pulls out a handgun and poof, 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 starts busting caps in this guy's face. And then the guy holds out his hand. Drops the bullets on the floor. That's the thing. This guy is very peaceful. He's very, you're just shooting at me. And now, I'm just gonna get out of the van and go for my coffee. So what can you do? You just, stop the van, let him out, walk, goodbye, take off, get out of here, goodbye, go have your coffee, and it's like, that's the ruler of the, this guy's the ruler of how far is this guy's reach, but obviously, the dictatorship that has been in command has lost their figurehead. Like, their figurehead has been crumbled by this little nobody, this little dude that is, obviously not a nobody, he's a somebody, but so life goes on. Obviously he takes control of things, and he's turning the government around. I'm pretty sure you've been awake. Like, if you're old enough and realize the history of things, there's a lot more being told. Over the past 8 years, maybe more, it's something like that, 7, 8 years since this guy's really, it was around some 2008 when this guy, so we're looking at 12 years now, 12, 13 years, that this guy basically took over the system. So so the government, that's the thing, is when he took over everything. And like, there's more truth being told. They still try to, keep you in the dark, but like, the old system is clinging on, but they're rapidly losing their power until it's all gone. And that's the story. That's basically it. Obviously, if you've been paying attention and you've been listening, you realize that things have shifted. It's not as dark as it used to be. And if you can't see it, like, obviously you're just a kid, and you're like what did you like? You know, did you lose your video game? You know, like did you drop your cell phone and crack it? You know, like, oh geez, life is horrible. You broke your phone. You know, like, it's people complain that the world is so hard with their little petty problems. You know, it's a lot brighter than that. It's just, you know, just don't complain over the petty things. The sun's still shining. You know. All right. Have a great day.